Alright y'all, we're back at it with another video, and Fujifilm has released yet another camera, Fujifilm X-E5. Now this is a pre-production unit, so we're going to keep this light and fun.
Dude, does this thing just rip selfies?
Oh, this sounds exactly right. But don't worry, we will get into the specs and a little bit of details because there are some new features for this family now, which is very exciting. Now this will be my daily driver for the next 2 weeks, which has been great. This is actually the longest time I actually had with a Fujifilm camera before its release. So I'm coming from a Fujifilm X106. Though I'm not comparing the two in this video, if you want me to do a comparison, please leave a comment below. And lastly, if you're excited for this, I would love to know your thoughts below, as well as like and subscribe. That really helps the channel. All right, let's get into it.
So when you're shooting black and white, the only depth you're looking for is the depth of the spectrum between black and white.
And the depth of your spirit for how deep you want to go with that black and white.
Dude, I should get back on the tube and start teaching again.
Yeah, you should.
I would say this has an easier part to it because it's not freezing right now.
It's simpler, like the one wetsuit, but it's like, yeah,
It's
there's
the
a lot
hardest
of
thing to get on, but it's, yep, cool. We're gonna leave this in case you want to change on the beach, okay? This. Can you smile? Let's do shaka. Can you do shaka?
Do shaka, yeah, boys. That was sick. Yo, so we're right here at the beach with the boys, literally all the boys, Towns. Now it's Caleb, myself. I'm not getting in the water, it's too cold, I don't do that. But I'm out here with my GFX and X-E5, all kind of rigged up, snapping away. This is kind of fun. I always had a little bit longer lens, but the 40 megapixel crop for this camera is quite nice, just like from the X106. So I can get some different compositions here throughout. But this is pretty sick. Got some really good shots so far. I'm very happy with this. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the specs for X-E5. This has a 40 megapixel sensor similar to the X106. So this allows you to actually do the teleconverter in camera as well with this little lever here, which enables it. Of course, you can customize it, but you have a 1.4 and a 2x teleconverter inside the camera. How you doing? Morning. So there is in-body image stabilization in the camera, and there's two modes, continuous and only shooting. So continuous means it's always on, and then only shooting is when you're actually taking a photograph, or in this case, video as well. Now, Fujifilm does say that there is a new algorithm and a new gyroscope in here, giving you up to 7 stops of stabilization, which is well welcomed. I'm gonna talk to the camera for a little bit. You gonna crush that? I guess that's a yes. So I just want to share some of my user experience with the camera so far. It's been a couple of days, almost like I think 5 days now with the camera. The things that I had to get used to is definitely that new dial, the film simulation dial. I did think that it was a little gimmicky, which in itself is actually it's more efficient, it's faster. I can quickly switch between black and white and reality 8s. They put it right next to each other. Those are the two most film simulations I use.
Later that same evening.
Now, over the years, Fujifilm has been implementing some variation of the film simulation dial on various different types of cameras and different camera families. This is the first time we're seeing it in the XE series. For all of my Fujifilm cameras, I'm rarely using any of the stock film simulations. I use it as a base, and then just like everyone, we build our own film recipes. Previously, you know, I would just save my recipes however I want it, and then I'll just change one of the buttons to access my saved profiles. And it, you know, over time you get faster with it anyway, and I would just press it, select it, and go about my day. But with this, that time speeds up almost like 10 times faster, because in this dial you have already, you know, standard profiles. You have acros, real A's, classic chrome, standard, and then some other things in here. But you also have 3 profiles to save your own film recipes, and it's F1, FS1, FS2, FS3. The moment I want to switch up the look, I just change the dial. Now, one thing I've noticed with these stock profiles that are on here, like classic chrome or real A's, if you do make any adjustments, every time you switch to a new film simulation, it's going to save that which you've already had. Let me show you what I mean. So right now I'm on Real A. So like I was saying before, if you're just using the stock profiles here, and let's say we're going to the menu and you change a few things, right? You change like your tone curve, you change a little bit of the color, go to +1, change the clarity. Like if you do all that stuff here, once you have that profile and you decide to change to a different film simulation, it's going to keep all of those same settings. So clarity was -2, +2, it's going to keep all of this. So now if you want to change the custom dials here for the FS1, FS2, FS3, you go to menu and then film simulation dial settings, and then you can see these options right here. So let's go to FS1, and I want that one to be nostalgic neg. And I want to turn on a recipe. So now I can create the recipe here. I want my white balance to be daylight. And then let's go. So it's actually have my current settings now saved, but now I wanted to change them just a little bit. 4, and now we have that. Now you can see all your settings associated to that film simulation profile with the highlight that says F1 on it. And if I go back to the regular one, like, you know, Real Ace, it's whatever I saved it to, and it stays there. And you still have your option to create 7 custom pages on top of the 3 custom film simulations. So you have 10 custom recipes that you can build in this camera, which is kind of insane. Now you're not just stuck with using the presets. The C here stands for command, which enables you to use the front and back command dials to access the film simulations as well as the menu. One-hand operation for this camera is actually a little bit easier than my X106. When I'm wanting to recrop or reframe, being able to do the teleconverter with this little lever here, one-handed is quite useful. So I can kind of go from the standard 40 megapixels and crop into the 1.4, then the 2, and I can just do that really one-handed and do it comfortably. The fact that this has IBIS inside, I believe they say about 7 stops. I can go to a lower shutter and kind of just work from that. You know, I'm pretty guerrilla style sometimes. You know, if there's camera shake in it, I don't mind it, but having the 7 stops of in-body stabilization is quite nice. And again, it's just a very pleasant experience. It's nothing that's taken away from it. There are a few things, like I just mentioned, kind of enhanced it now after getting used to it, but the user experience overall, it's solid. Can't complain. Now, when it comes to the build quality for X-E5, this feels very premium. The first thing you'll kind of notice, there is a little bit more handling with like a small indentation here in the back, and then the front has a small grip as well. You kind of see it there. For those who don't want to put any additional accessories to keep it very clean, if you remember from X-E4, it had that very slim design, which was nice too, but I definitely put a grip. But these are for those who are, you know, coming from the X106. You'll have sort of a same little divot here as well. The overall design is quite beautiful. You have this little indentation here. This very reminds me of the new design from the 100 RF. So it's taking a lot of cues from the 106 as well as the RF. Obviously, this is still a interchangeable mount. So you have the X mount system here. Pop that off, pop it back on. And it's a very, very beautiful camera. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the lens here. This is the new 23 pancake lens. It's a 2.8 and it's super tiny, as the name implies, pancake. So this is going to give you a field of view of a 35 mil when it comes to full frame terms. And this is actually a really great combination. This what makes it really feel like an X100 because it has the same focal length, though it's a slightly slower speed at 2.8 versus a 2. Still gonna get the job done. The quality is good enough. Nice little clicks when changing the aperture. There is a focus ring here. It's really small at the top, so if you want to throw it to manual. And if you turn it all the way to A here, it locks, so it can be full automatic. And then you can set your camera to full automatic, and you just have a true point and shoot experience. So a bit more details with the lens. It is weather resistant. It has a minimum focus distance of 20 centimeters, and it has 11 blade aperture. All right, so before I wrap this video up, I just want to talk a little bit about who is this camera for. And honestly, it's straight up for anyone who wants a everyday carry. This camera is going to fit that need. It has so many good features. The image quality is top notch because of the new megapixels, the ability to crop into that, the interchangeable mount so you can use all your types of different lenses that you want, that you already have for Fujifilm cameras. And it's really your best bet outside the X100 to get that compact, robust experience. Once there's accessories coming out for this, you can really, customize this to how you want your form factor, the grip, or keep it really minimum like this. This is going to give you that experience that you've been asking for and wanting. Some of the differences between the X100 and X-E5. X-E5 does not have internal NDs. It doesn't have a pop-up flash or built-in flash. And honestly, I like having the lever to be the teleconverter versus being on the lens. Like I was talking about earlier, being able to do this one-handed. I could do all that information from just one side of my hand versus having two hands on the X106 to use it on the lens to do the teleconverter. That's just me. And of course, you have the new dial here and way more customization in terms of how many film simulations you can put in this camera, which is kind of absurd. It's a lot, but endless combinations here. And something I forgot to mention too, easier access for Bluetooth. They actually put a Bluetooth button here at the bottom of the camera. So you just press that and you can connect to your phone to get images off of it, or the Instax printer as well to print directly from the camera to that. So that's pretty useful for just really a compact run and gun system. And yeah, what say you? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next Fujifilm launch. See ya.